So welcome everybody to our Sunday evening meditation. It's always a lovely time to come together for the end of the day and the beginning of the week, the end of
So welcome everybody to our Sunday evening.
I'm totally happy to be here together and to take a breath and take a moment to center ourselves. Tonight, I thought we would work on a lovely breathing meditation and a little contemplation. It's often a lovely combination when we do a meditation that allows our breath to really bring ourselves into that centered moment, into that place of mindfulness and awareness. And that's a practice that we get from the East. And in the Western traditions, there's a lovely tradition that when Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, when he says, let's do a meditation, and then he describes what he wants us to do, it's actually a contemplation. And contemplation is very common in Ernest Holmes's writings. We find it in the Jesuit school. We find Thomas Merton and Meister Eckhart, people like this, using contemplation. So the practice of contemplation is an invitation to take what shall we say, a large spiritual idea that we tend to take for granted, or that we tend to, we use the language as if we really know what we're talking about, and we might intellectually know what we're talking about, but contemplation really invites us to allow this idea to reveal itself to us. Because remember, in the causal reality, everything is not a thing. It's actually a potentiality, a concept, an idea. Those are some of the closest words that we have to the sense that the infinite is pregnant with these qualities and possibilities. And the more that we can bend our minds around it, the more that we can embody it, the more fully we can experience it, and then, of course, express it in our lives. So contemplation is not analysis. It's not intellectually thinking about something. It's actually when we use the breath to get into this open space of consciousness, I think of it like floating this idea out into this space and then holding it in our space of awareness with simply the sense of curiosity, openness. And I sometimes imagine that I'm kind of poking at it from here and poking at it from there and holding it, and I'm just inviting it. And then all of a sudden I realize, oh, wait, I know something about this. Or some idea, thought, feeling, sensation, experience, awareness in consciousness begins to show up, little waves of, I mean, every word is so linear or so specific, and it doesn't quite always happen that way, but it's just we're inviting this spiritual concept to reveal itself to us as we contemplate it. And Ernest Holmes says, if we contemplate larger and larger and larger ideas, our ability to embody a larger reality becomes more real. And of course, our goal in meditation is to embody, to touch the connection, our connection as the infinite, making itself known, individualized, which is about the largest thing that we can imagine. So today, the thing that I would like for us to contemplate, we banter around the word love and connection so often. And what I actually want us to, in the context of love and connection, is what we're going to contemplate is oneness. So create the space using our meditation and our breath. And then we're just going to float that idea of oneness out there in that field of consciousness and invite it to reveal something to us, something new, a deeper experience, an insight. Might be just one thing, but it'll be enough, something that we can take into the week. So, Bobby, when you're ready, if you would share the music with us, we'll go ahead and get started. So we begin with the breath. Just taking that all-important first breath, that breath that allows us to settle in. We breathe into the very center of our body, expanding the lungs, opening the rib cage, breathing all the way down into the abdomen. Allow each breath to settle the whole system. Feel the breath releasing anything from the day. Just allowing the breath to take us deeper within. Breathing all the way down into the sit bones where we're grounded and settled on the cushion or in the chair. Notice that as you breathe and you breathe more deeply, you can follow your consciousness, or let us say the consciousness follows the breath deeper into the center. And as the breath takes us deeper into the center of our being, our whole body settles. The spine straightens, the shoulders roll back. The nerve endings become quiet. And now we breathe into the throat, elongating the neck, the whole system becoming unkinked, more open, everything flowing easily and effortlessly through the body. Remembering to relax the jaw. Allow the tongue to rest gently in the mouth, the face to soften, the eyes to soften. So much is held in our jaw and in our shoulders. So we just breathe it out. With each exhale, we release. With each inhale, we feel ourselves becoming more steady, more present, more centered. Breathing now up into the third eye across the forehead. Breathing all the way around the skull, over the crown. Breathing all that oxygen into the brain. Releasing the busyness. And noticing that as our body settles and the whole system becomes more quiet, everything slows down. And the mind must follow. And because all of the outer stimulation is released, and we're centered and more still, we notice that a space opens up. The field of awareness. An infinite field in which we express and experience our own thoughts and feelings, open to insight and intuition, sense, truth, and recognize oneness. And so in this space that has begun to open, continue to sense that it's a fuller, bigger, more open space. And at the moment, there's nothing in it. A field of awareness. And into this field of awareness, we float out this profound spiritual idea: oneness. Oneness. As we allow this idea to float out there in this vast, open spaciousness, just simply holding a space of curiosity. What is revealed in this notion of oneness? What is included in oneness? What is the biggest oneness we can imagine? What is oneness beyond all of physical creation? Keep allowing your consciousness to stretch further and further out. It is the highest concept, the biggest concept of oneness you can have. Allow the curiosity of oneness to open a space where you sense and feel a larger and larger experience of oneness. Is there anything that is challenging to imagine as a part of this oneness? And how might that work? Notice that as we expand and expand and expand our sense of oneness, we ourselves expand and expand and expand. As we find ourselves expanding all the way out into the infinite, notice all the multiplicity and diversity and infinite, myriad, individualized creations. How is it all one and yet constantly showing up as individualized expressions, individuated moments or things or beings? Is our idea and sense, the felt lived experience of oneness, large enough to hold this sense of separation, this dual unity? The dual unity of oneness and multiplicity, of being and becoming. Just invite curiosity to be your stance. And we might bring our contemplation of oneness to a close by asking ourselves, what metaphor, what image of nature or science or human beings or anything metaphorically helps you, me, have a felt lived experience of oneness that includes multiplicity, being that includes becoming. A oneness that is forever changing form and shape. But is still a oneness. And so we allow this deep sense of spaciousness and this profound contemplation of oneness to be a place of peace, discovering in this that deep peace, the deep presence. In a moment of profound awareness. And so let us anchor ourselves in as we bring our meditation to a close, anchoring ourselves in to a deep awareness of oneness, that this is the ground of being, it's the source of life, it is the ultimate truth, highest reality, and the deepest truth centered within all creation. No matter where we go, we can't get outside of oneness. No matter any experience, we can fall back into oneness. And that oneness, which is the source of all being, is forever becoming in, through, and as each of us. We can rely on it. We can trust it. We can know that it is always present, always there, regardless of whether we feel it or not. And the moment that we open a space and contemplate the oneness, we touch that reality again. And there we are. And so with another deep breath, as we have anchored this now into with ourselves, we anchor it into the truth of our being, as the very truth of our being. And we take another deep breath and we bring ourselves fully present here and now in this body, in this moment, seated wherever we're seated, breathing again into this experience. And when we're ready, we can wiggle our hands and toes and open our eyes. So I invite you this week to keep tapping back into an experience of this contemplation. Feel the connection and the love and the peace that begins to well up every time we turn within and invite ourselves to contemplate oneness. It's not just an intellectual or cerebral exercise. This is the deep experience that is available to us in meditation. And it is the anchor that we can use to move through our day, move through our week, this week, through the joys, the challenges, the ordinary moments, whatever it is, the things that we love and the things that we don't like, to keep coming back to the contemplation of oneness. Allow it to become that grounded center from which we move in the world. Not just something we say, but something that we live from to the best of our ability. And so now, as we close this meditation, it is so good to spend this time together with you. We will let you know that starting next week, we will not have the Zoom room open. What we'll do is we will simply live stream on Facebook and YouTube, 7:00 on Sunday nights. We'll be live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So you won't have to find a Zoom link. You won't have to come into the Zoom room. Just set your notifications in YouTube or in Facebook. Set an alarm, 7:00 Central Time, Sunday evenings. And between now and then, next week, allow yourself to be present to this beautiful idea of oneness. Keep letting it drip in deeper and deeper and deeper. So thanks for joining me and Bobby tonight. We're so grateful to spend this time with you. Thank you again, Bobby, for supporting me in this. And we will look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.